welcome to Artistic Adventures. This is part 2 of our Vampire Slayer project, and we're going to be making her pants today. And I'm also going to show you how to change the feet on a ball jointed doll if you've never done that. So let's get started. I've laid the doll out on the fabric that I'm going to use. This is fake leather, and I've got the two right sides together because the white is easier to mark on than the black leather. This back is sort of like a felty kind of material, fleece kind of material on the back. It's not super stretchy. It does have a little stretch, but not super stretchy. So right now I'm just marking the level where the crotch is so that I can draw my pattern. I already have the length figured out going down to the bottom of her ankles. So once I have where the crotch is, then I can draw out the basic shape of a pair of pants. And this will be the front part of the pants. And I'm leaving a lot of material up at the top. I don't need that much, and I know that, but it's better to have too much than too little, and we can always trim it off later. So that's how the front part will look. And I'm going to make the back a little bit bigger, but before I do that, I want to measure this. I want to lay it against the doll just to see if what I have is going to cover the front sufficiently. And then we'll make the back a little bit bigger because our bottoms add more volume to the back of our pants, right? And so now I'm just going to lay this out, and I'm going to cut this, as I said, a little bit bigger than the front part. And then once we have that, we can sew it right sides together without having to worry it's already right sides together. And that's how the leather looks. So I'm pulling out my new sewing machine that I'm still loving, and I'm going to sew the crotch part. This is the front of the pants. So I'm just showing the crotch side all the way down from the waist all the way through the curve. But for the back, I'm only going to sew a portion of this starting right here and then going through the curve. And that's so we have an opening in the back that we can use to get the pants on and off the doll. All right, and I'm thinking this is looking a little big, but that's okay. We can always cut it down. Better big than too little. All right, so now we're going to take the front and the back, put them right sides together, and we're going to sew the side seams from the waist all the way down to the end of the pant leg. And we'll do the same on both sides. And now that we have that, I just want to measure it around the waist and the hips to make sure that we have enough material. And in fact, it's a little bit big. So what I'm going to do is go back on that inseam and sew up a little bit further in and then trim that. So, and I also could tell that the legs were going to be big. So I'm going to go ahead and take some off by not putting the edges completely together since the back is a little bit too big. So that's the inner seam of the legs. Now that we have that, I want to do another try on to see how they fit, and then I can make my final adjustments with the seams. So I'm going to turn it. Things are so much easier to turn when they're bigger than the little dolls. This is a lot easier. All right, so let's slip these on real quick and we'll see how they fit. And yeah, they're still a little big. Now the waist and the hips are not bad, but the legs are way too big. And also there's too much at the waist height-wise, so I'm going to mark that with a white pencil where I want the waist, and then I can trim some of that off. So I'm going to go back and take a little bit up on each side. Looking at the seams here just to make sure that everything looks good. But I don't want to take all of the slack up on one seam, so I'm going to just take a little bit up on all the seams. And I'm starting a little bit down from the waist because the waist and the hips of the pants fit pretty good. So I'm just going to try to make the legs a little bit slimmer. I don't want them to be skin tight because this material is not super stretchy. So it's going to have some looseness in the fabric so she can move. You know, you got to move to kill vampires, right? All right, so I've done my adjustments with the seams, and now I'm going to turn the legs again, and then we can work on the waist. So now we've got them pretty much where we want them to be. And you can see that, well, I don't know if you can see it, but I did put that mark there at the waist. And I'm going to go up above that because I'm going to have to turn down the waist, the width of the elastic. All right, so now that I've got that done, then we can sew the elastic to the waist. So take your elastic and just measure it around the waist of the doll. And I'm not stretching it around her, I'm just doing it, so that it's tight but not stretched. Because stretching it, it'll stretch enough once it's in the fabric. So you're going to place it far enough down so that you can fold over the top of the waist and cover the elastic and sew another seam beneath that once you've got the elastic sewed in. So I'm stretching the elastic as I sew it over the fabric. I'm not stretching the fabric. And that way it gathers the fabric up. Now you do have to pull some on the back of the fabric as it goes, as you're sewing, so that the when you're stretching the elastic, it sort of pulls everything forward. So you do have to kind of keep everything even by pulling the back of the fabric through under the presser foot. So now you're going to fold over the top and sew at the bottom of that. And you have to kind of stretch this again because the elastic had gathered it. And once you get that, then you have your nice elastic waistband. And we'll put the Velcro snap on a little bit later. I'll show you how to do that. But now we've got our pants turned and we're ready to try them on. And I wanted to show you these little boots. I already had these, so I don't have to make boots. And I think they're perfect for a Vampire Slayer costume. So we'll just make use of those. But they are high-heeled, so I need to change the foot on this doll to the high-heel foot. She did come with two types of feet, which is nice. So then they can wear different types of shoes. So I'm going to use these hemostats. They have this little lock back under on the grip, and they help hold the elastic while you're pulling it. Now, what I usually do to change a feet or hand or whatever is I hold the doll between my legs, and that's how I keep the bottom half have tension on it so that I can pull with one hand and use the hemostats with the other. So you pull the elastic up till you can grip it with the hemostat. And I didn't even have to take the foot off, it just fell off, but it's just a little hook in there. So we're going to hook the other foot on, release the elastic, and it's just that easy to change the feet. So I'm going to do that on the other side. And now she's got her high heel feet on. I'm going to go ahead and put the boot on one leg here just to show you how it looks. And we'll put the Velcro on the waist off of the doll so it's not being stretched while the glue is drying. So now that we have that foot on there, we can slip this boot on. I did have to undo the lacings quite a bit to get the foot finally into it. I I don't know that 1/3 dolls all have the same size feet. I'm sure they aren't exactly the same, but enough so that most of the time when you order 1/3 shoes, they do fit. Some might be tighter than others, but once I got it on, then I was able to tighten up the lacings, and it looks pretty good. So just wanted to show you that, and then we're going to take the pants off again and take my two pieces of Velcro that are already together, put some glue on one side, and I'm going to press that down to the side that's not folded over. And then because this other part's folded over, I'm going to put some glue down in the fold to glue the material together, put some glue on the other side of the Velcro, press it down, and then we'll clamp that together so that it dries nice and firm. So that's the end. This is how the pants look once I put them back on and put the boots on the doll. That's the rear side. And here's how the doll looks totally from the front. So I hope you'd enjoyed that project. If you did, give me a thumbs up. We got lots more coming up. We got weapons, we got a coat, got lots to do to this doll to give her her complete vampire slayer look. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Thanks and bye.